Hello everybody. Before the video fully starts, this is a mixture of both post commentary and live commentary. When my VTuber is on screen, it means I was streaming it mostly on Discord and then doing some post commentary after. I just was trying out something new. Let me know what you guys think. And I hope you guys enjoy the video as we join Farmer Steve in his revenge to get his produce back. Thank you, everybody. Alright, as we make Farmer Steve, we go and venture forth. Waking up on the ship, we roll through the lore because our ship is under attack and our produces are being stolen. Turns out a big old monster ate all of our produce, which we were taking to another kingdom. We try to fight, but he seems to overpower us. We wake up on the shore and decide to take our revenge. We run around just gathering items, poking things with our, well, pitchfork obviously, because that's our only means of attack at the moment.
Bye-bye.
The bandage ring, yay! We do the sodden night skip.
Steve needs more power.
Head on over to the Village of Smiles. And Steve makes friends with a scarecrow. Steve likes scarecrows. They make him feel at home.
Farmer Steve will be friendly to them.
Do a little bit of equipment leveling.
The only thing that sucks about the pitchforks is it splits scaling.
And then we figure out about gravity.
No!
And then he gets JFK'd.
Oh my god.
And then he just gets gunned down.
Oh my god.
His anger is fueling his rage, so he makes his pitchfork even stronger. He decides to buy a pocket knife. Never know when that might come in handy.
Now we
Grabs a ghastly gourd. And he decides to do a dagger flip to skip straight to this cool looking castle.
They were pretty much the same thing.
Runs up some stairs and finds a mending ring that magically heals his wounds. And he decides to talk to somebody.
And we claim this.
Claiming the sanctuary for his creed where he believes in the three gods, he makes a nice safe place for all of his friends to join him. Alright, inside the Castle of Storms we do a lot of leveling. We're going to be mainly focusing on dex and strength because that's what spears scale with. We figure out the power of the Bell of Return. And then we decide to take on the Kraken Worm. It doesn't go too well. Toasty. But second try, we get the worm. The worm has been defeated. Decide to take a shortcut. Yeah, gravity. Back at the Village of Smiles, we take on the Queen of Smiles. She doesn't last too long. Right now, we're just doing a boss mop-up, taking on all the bosses we skipped. The Mad Alchemist tries to fight back, but he falls to Steve's pokies. The Kraken Cyclops dies to put up a fight, but again, he falls to Steve's unbridled rage of getting revenge for them stealing his produce. I always seem to have issues with the False Jester. I don't understand why. It's either how fast his attacks come out or his janky hitboxes. Other than that, he goes down pretty fast as Steve's pitchfork. Equipment upgrading montage! Woo! We grab the sanctuary in the Red Hall of Cages. We make a little safe spot with a couple of vendors. Then we do a bunch of item farming against the Split Swordsman, trying to get some Lord's Orders to drop. Joke's on me. My luck for item drops on this run is crap. The items I want never work. Also, gravity's a thing. I never get them, so we just move on from here. Not much to talk about in the Dome of the Forgotten. It's just a bunch of platforming. Kill some ghosts. We ain't afraid of no ghosts. And we take on the Untouched Inquisitor. I find it funny how this guy's lore is he's killed thousands and thousands of people, but he goes down like a chump. He's honestly a very easy boss. I like the finish, though. We immediately move on to take on the third lamb at the top of the dome. This is honestly the first boss to actually give me a little bit of trouble. was really off my roll timings. I kept getting clipped onto its hitboxes. But other than that, she goes down pretty fast. What an overgrown chicken. Also, this funny thing happened. This hornet fucking follows me into my sanctuary, and I just let the blacksmith and the alchemist beat it up. The alchemist does end up dying, but they respawn extremely quickly. Moving on to the ziggurat. This place is really simple. We're just here to kill the dried king. Steve needs him to fertilize his fields when he gets back to his home. So we're going to crush this old man to dust. Again, it wasn't that hard of a boss. My roll timings were just off, but he goes down. First try. Up in Mal's floating castle, there's these crypt keepers. They have a chance at dropping king's orders, which can take weapons up to +7.
A shimmering pearl. You're telling me I got the Lord's order drop, his ashes drop, and his shimmering pearl drop, but not a king's order? What the hell? I got 2 shimmering pearl drops before I got 1 king's orders. What the hell?
Taking a break from farming, we go and fight Mal. She gets me once with a sneaky hit. Oh my gosh, I didn't know she was going for a melee. Second try though, we get her. She goes down to our pitchfork. And then back to farming. Finally got a damn king's orders to drop. At this current moment, the Tree of Man really stands no chance against Steve. Steve is so angry that his rage literally kills the tree in just a matter of moments. His range is unbeatable. We can hit all the weak spots. Tree Man goes down with no issue. Next up is the disemboweled husk. Steve is like, man, this corpse would make great fertilizer for his crops once he gets back home. So that's what he does. He turns them into fertilizer for his crops. Next up on the hit list is the Stench Most Foul. Steve is like, you know what? I'ma kill another god. In the lore, the Stench Most Foul is a god that was created by the people of the Mire. But then it got hungry and ate everybody. So, oh, I guess Steve is a little hungry too, because he ends up eating the Stench Most Foul too. Make sure you brush your teeth afterwards, kids. Back in the Ziggurat of Dust, Steve runs into his old friend, the Skeleton. Decides to have a little bit of a conversation. Even though Steve is a farmer, he can also be a lumberjack. Time to bring down the Bloodless Prince. This big honkin' thing has the highest health pool of any enemy in the game, but honestly, he's really simple. Just obviously just roll behind him. He's not really that difficult. He has a belly flop attack that's a little annoying to dodge, but other than that, he was an easy fight. I swear, gravity is the #1 killer of me in this playthrough. All I just know is that Farmer Steve ain't afraid of no ghosts as he takes on the Coveted. The ghosts do put up a little bit of trouble with their magic projectiles, but Steve doesn't believe in magic. So he just pokes with his spear, pitchfork, until they die. He ain't afraid of no ghosts. Shortly after that, he encounters the Witch of the Lake, and Steve is like, you know what? You're gonna die, because he's over this and he just wants his produce back. But little does he know, during this fight, the witch tells him that his produce are being used to summon their nameless god, who's gonna bring about chaos and destruction to the world. And Steve is like, no, my produce is meant for happiness and life. But deep down, Steve is like, my rage is building and I want to kill them all. A little bit of parkouring to take a shortcut. Next up, we have the Unskin and the Architect, or the Artifice. I keep forgetting what their name is. Steve is like, murder. And they're like, we gotta stop you because their nameless god is trying to be revived. Blah, 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 blah. Steve pokes them until they die. His anger is too high, and Steve runs into his good old friend, the Scarecrow, who asks him a question. Even though Steve is a heavily religious man and believes in the three, he looks at his candelabra and he feels that he's about to meet his God. Charging forward, he encounters the three and he knows what to do. He must kill his God. Deep down, Steve, he feels satisfied. So he moves on. Alright, next up is the Kraken Dragon Scourge. Scourge? I still don't know how to say that name correctly. He's honestly a big target. He's like the Bloodless Prince. Big and easy to dodge. He gets stunned really fast. I think it takes about 2 to 3 heavy attacks before he gets stunned sometimes. Other than that, just roll through his attacks and he goes down in no time. Finally, at the bottom of the island, Steve encounters the Nameless God. The being responsible for sinking his ship and stealing all of his produce and destroying his livelihood. Challenging the Nameless God to mortal combat, Steve rushes in, pitchfork in hand. He doesn't care anymore about his vegetables. He just wants to rip, tear, and slaughter. This Nameless God will stand no chance against this angry farmer. As the battle draws to a close, Steve charges in for one last strike, impaling the Nameless God. As the Nameless God falls and screams in agony, Steve watches the life drain from his eyes. As Steve wanders deeper into the darkness of the island, he's told of a way out, down the well, back to the real world. But he contemplates something. He wants to stay. He wants this fight to keep going. And then he sees his old friend. Steve will stay on the island. He will remove his title as being a Farmer Steve and become Steve the Destroyer. Bloodshed is all he's known since he came to this island, and bloodshed will continue. The fight will never end. Hey everybody, thank you for making it to the end of the video. A couple of things about this playthrough is, one, I did not know the pitchfork was going to be so strong. That's ridiculous how strong the pitchfork is. Yeah, I did a lot of grinding near the end, but I had fun. I kind of like these character builds I do. Like we have Whipping Tammy, John Saltboard, and now Steve the Farmer. The next one I already got a good idea for. And let me know how you guys liked a bit of both live commentary and some of my post commentary. I'm trying to get better at writing scripts. I did a little bit for this. I'm just trying to get better every time. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.